Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. So I thought I'd make a bit of a longer video again and start talking some more. So welcome to Hammock Life here. It is lovely, and there's Maya the bear, if you can see her down further down the garden. There's Mikey the beagle, occasionally barking at the chickens and ducks. It is hot here, so outside is way more pleasant than inside this time of the year here in North Portugal. But nice breeze as well. I hope the sound is good. Apologies in advance if it's not perfect, but we do what we can. So the topic of the video, reactivity. That's the thing. Everyone tells you these days, your dog is reactive, your dog has a problem, and oh my god, it's dangerous, and you're gonna run into difficulties. Now you gotta pay a trainer a lot of money to fix it. Yeah, no. It's not the problem that something's wrong with your dog. That's the problem. Think about that for a moment. Would you punish a young child if that young child was afraid of a situation that genuinely scared them? Like you take your child to an amusement park, a roller coaster, and they're deathly afraid and they start digging their heels in, refusing to walk, crying and wailing and throwing what looks like a tantrum. Would you put a prong collar on your child and yank them and tell them to obey, or else? No, right? Because all your child's doing is afraid, but the display of that emotion brings you in an uncomfortable position. You look bad in front of others, you may feel embarrassed in front of your friends, it's inconvenient, it's maybe you're already on edge, your nervous system is shot, you're stressed, as so many people are these days, right? And your child just triggers you in the worst way possible with the horrendous screeching and crying, and they won't calm down, and you just decide, okay, well, that's now a problem, I gotta go hard on them and be punitive. No, in this day and age, luckily, we don't do that with our children, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But why do we do it with our dogs? Why do we think that that trainer from the internet with his prong collar course or his e-collar course is gonna be the answer? Your dog is, more often than not, when they're displaying reactivity, like aggressive behaviors, in quotation marks, aggressive behaviors, when they're being aggressive, they're just afraid. They just want to create space. They just want to say to that jogger or that cyclist or that other dog, stay away from me. That's why they're so vocal. If you notice, when your dog is reactive, that they're vocalizing a lot. They're showing their emotion. They're demonstrating. They're communicating so clearly that even a small child will understand. Stay away from me. That's it. They're acting out of fear. Then you drag them by, you punish them, or whatever you do. Once the situation is over and your dog calms down again, it's like, poof, oh my god, I survived something so taxing. Oh, from the standpoint of your dog, like a roller coaster ride for your kid. Afterwards, they'll be like, if they go on there, if you force them to go on there, if they do it, they'd be, once they get off, it's like, oh, wow, that was pretty traumatic, that was pretty tough, right? That's how your dog feels after you drag them past that other dog that they're apparently trying to kill. They're not. They're just trying to get out of the situation unscathed. You know? So why do you need to punish that? I mean, myself, I've been growing up with aversive training. Literally in my teens, I've been in Germany. They only made us go to school a half day pretty much, or 2/3 of the day. So we had a lot of free time, and I spend that free time with my own dogs, big dogs on the training field, in the local dog shelter, several dog shelters, 2 dog shelters at the same time. I went walk dogs, helped with kennel cleaning and grooming and training and rehabilitation as much as I could as a teenager, reading the books of Mrs. Pedersen, the wolf expert, wolf behaviorist, or wolf behavior expert. Kynologin is what we call them in German. So I tried my best, and many of you have followed several similar paths if you are in the dog training profession, if you're listening to this. So yeah, that's how we were taught initially, decades ago, some of us even today, that yeah, you have to use aversives. If a dog is barking at another dog, it's completely unacceptable. And you need to snap them out of it, snap the brain out of it. It's what Cesar Millan teaches us. But think again, what are you doing to your dog? Like to that little child who's afraid to step on a roller coaster. Are you snapping them out of it by smacking them into their face, or what? Is that snapping the brain out of it and they're suddenly calm? But Cesar Millan, I mean, I'm not trying to criticize Cesar Millan. He has very good points, and he obviously had very impressive successes leading large packs of power breed dogs not on leash, off leash, in Los Angeles in the mountains initially in his career. I mean, that is pretty damn impressive. I am not, not trying to be nasty to anyone, but is the brain of the kid gonna snap out of it if you put physical corrections on your little kid whilst they're afraid to step on that roller coaster? Or is that just gonna totally ruin the trust? Same between you and your dog. Is it not gonna ruin that trust if you put more stress on top of them? Was they're already deathly afraid that other dog's gonna injure them, hurt them? As they know, other dogs are dangerous. They have teeth. They can bite them. And it happens. Just look in the news, look on Facebook, look how many dogs get attacked, bitten, mauled, killed by pit bulls all the time. All the time. I mean, literally all the time. If you don't believe me, don't take my word for it. Look up Animals 24/7. The website is a good source. Join any of the pro-BSL groups that are out there. One of it is called Shit Bulls, literally, because we're also sick and tired of this happening. My beagle was attacked by a shit bull and bitten. Had I not jumped into action real fast, stormed to the scene, because my husband was holding the leash of that beagle, our female, our old one, that pit bull might have just killed her. So I went screaming, screeching, yelling, and trying to hit at it with my, with my long biosane and metal leash that I used as a whip. I had Mikey, my other beagle, next to me, and I made damn effing sure that that shit bull didn't get to Mikey. I succeeded just about. It stayed just about away, but it had another dog that was with it. There was 3 dogs that were loose, breaking all the laws in Portugal. We're not allowed to let dogs off leash, and restricted dogs like shit bulls, all the types, they're not allowed to be in public without muzzle and leash. So these were just released by the owner. Ta-da-da, let's just see what happens. So that shit bull and medium-sized white dog came at us from 2 different sides. White dog from the left, shit bull from the right. I was just about to keep them off. If you don't believe me, contact GNR in Portugal. We have an active case against the owner, so there's that. But bottom line being, other dogs are potentially dangerous to our dogs, and they know it. So if we have a reactive dog, they're just afraid of that other dog. If they're people reactive, it means they're afraid of people, because not every dog trusts strangers. Hopefully your dog trusts you as their owner. That's already all that you need, because whom do you get your dog for? For other people or for yourself? It's your dog. As long as you and your dog are good, that's all you need. Why does your dog need to meet everyone and have kids pet it? Your dog is not public property. No one needs to be able to pet your dog. The vet? Yes, the vet needs to be able to touch your dog for examination, to apply treatment if needed, to apply the vaccinations that are mandatory. At least the rabies is mandatory. And no, there is no ecological, bio-sustainable alternative to that. It's just by law you have to vaccinate against rabies. And don't let any foo-foo pseudo-behaviorists and holistics tell you that you shouldn't do that. You should break the law, because you and your dog can get into trouble like that. So the vet needs to be able to touch your dog, and for that, yes, you will be wanting to train your reactive dog on how to be fine and neutral with the muzzle on. The muzzle should always mean positive things. Maya, my reactive livestock guardian dog, she doesn't let strangers touch her, and many of her breed don't. They don't. They're selectively been bred to be extremely distrustful to strangers. And why? Otherwise, people can just run towards them, grab a part of their flock in the night when the shepherds are not on at the scene, and do away. Make away with the guard dogs as well. It happens. It happens even in Portugal here. You would not believe it, but we know the owners of these dogs. We have communities. We know the stories. So breeders breed out the traits that are breed out the dogs that are people friendly, stranger friendly. They do not want that. So Maya wears a vet muzzle. Yes, muzzle for the vet. Yeah, and that's my reactive dog being territorially aggressive and barking, alerting to something being going on. No problem, it's your job. So Maya wears a mesh muzzle when the vet comes for a house visit, or when we have to bring her in for any reason. If she needs to be boarded, she's actually completely fine for a vet tech to take her leash and take her to the kennel. We've been getting her used to that from early age on. But when the vet has to touch her, to examine her, to take her, examine the heartbeat and stuff, she wears a mesh muzzle, and treats are being given into the muzzle, and she's busy eating. She won't even pay attention to the vet. When we're finished, she'll wag her tail at the vet, and the vet usually is just so happy that Maya is so happy. I mean, she doesn't give you the impression that she's even reactive. I've been trying to tell people that, who say, oh, can I pet her? No, she doesn't trust strangers, but she's wagging her tail, she looks friendly. Yeah, but no, don't touch my dog unless you're the vet. But anyway, so no one but yourself and your family members and people who are near and dear to you and frequent your house often need to be able to touch your dog. So don't let trainers tell you otherwise. Also, and that's an important point here, look up the FSAB AVSAB 2021 position statement. That gives you just a sample of what all relevant organizations around the globe say, that aversive methods to correct behaviors like reactivity, like barking, lunging to strangers or to dogs, or on the fence barking, they have proven negative side effects, such as increased aggression. Now, do you want that for your reactive dog, to be even more venomous in their outbursts? No, absolutely not. Increased anxiety, increased stress levels, as in a chronic state of cortisol, cortisol secretion, adrenaline. It's just burning out the glands, especially in dogs that have been neutered or spayed. Their hormone production is already hampered with, messed with. Do you really need to exert, I can't pronounce the word, make that worse, intensify that? No, you don't want that. So another side effect is the breakdown of the trust and the bond between human and dog. Their primary caregiver, like their parent if they were a child, or their loving leader is your dog, and you just say you live alone with your dog. You are their whole world. Do you really want to be the person who breaks that bond of trust, the only connection your dog has? Because they're afraid they're reactive after all, right? No, that's the last thing you want to do. So what do you do then? First of all, don't try to fix what's not broken. You don't need to take your dog to what you see on social media all the time, to Lowe's and to Home Depot and to PetSmart and to God knows where shopping malls. Why? Why you need to bring your dog there? Maybe once in their lives, twice, 3 times, to, we call that imprinting in dog training. Get a younger dog or even an older dog whom you adopted and who's been living very remote. Get them used to the stimuli of the world around them. Keep them under threshold, keep them at a point where they're not stressed, and maybe do some training there. That's fine. I've been doing that too with dogs I got or I fostered who were not used to the world. And they got used to that, but after that, if they lived remotely like my dogs do, and maybe your dogs too, they don't need to have that all the time. That overstimulation. For a reactive dog, that's not good at all. For a temperament, say you have a dog with a very resilient temperament, like my beagles. They're almost bomb-proof, like literally anything can go around them. They just have a polite interest in it. They're not disturbed, they're not bothered. The younger one, maybe he is interested, is like, oh, fascinated. But he's rarely insecure. If he is, he bounces back so fast. With such dogs, yeah, you can take them more often if you want to. No problem. But a reactive dog, an insecure dog, or a truly aggressive dog aggressive, human aggressive, animal aggressive, it happens. Such dogs exist. It's only true human aggression is estimated only to be there in about 3 to 5% of all dogs that are deemed aggressive. The rest is what we say reactive, so fear-based aggression that just serves to keep a perceived threat at bay, at a distance. Make them go away, tell them, I'm not comfortable with you so close, please back off. That's why the display, the threatening behavior, you know. So with such a dog, they don't need to be in such high distraction environments with tons of triggers to throw them off. Why would you need them to be like that? Ask yourself, is it necessary? Or are you maybe setting your dog up to fail by overloading their nervous system even more? So how about getting your reactive dog in a car, driving to a more remote location where they can actually enjoy a walk in peace without being constantly concerned that the neighbor's pit bull or that other neighbor's Cane Corso or that German Shepherd across, on the other side of the block is going to get them. Or that the kids of your neighbor, whom your dog sees as a boogeyman, are going to get them because you walk past where they're playing in their front yard. Does your dog really need to be exposed to that? Ask yourself. I'm not telling you what to do. I just want you to think about it and to do what's best for your reactive dog. Like Maya here, the other Estrelas like her, and I have some in, my consultations, my circle of friends. I live here in Portugal, after all. This is the native country of 4 livestock guardian breeds. And they all share these temperamental traits. They are prone to reactivity, quite severe actually, reactivity. That's also what makes them so excellent at their job. They're natural property and flock guardians. And they also guard, little beagles, if you can see them here. Whatever you give them to guard, they will guard. And they don't need to be exposed to all this, that, and the other thing. They don't need to be other people's pets. They don't need to get petted. Like, do you let people pet your child? Or your wife? Hell no, you don't. Or yourself? No. You protect your personal space in public. So also protect the personal space of your dog. Why not, right? Like in Portugal, livestock guardian owners do not usually walk these dogs at all. They have them on their plot of land and their property, or maybe loose in the mountains with the flock, where the dogs stay close to the flock. If they don't, they will select them out. They will put them into a fenced-in yard or chain them up, which is not good either. But I will not take the liability of the livestock dog injuring people or their dogs, because that also can happen if you let a very proactive dog be loose. But they don't do that. I've seen maybe 3 people walking their Estrella mountain dogs over the years. 3. I'm number 4. I take Maya walking, but not even that often now, maybe once a week, because where we live we have a large garden, we have a yard, we have a biggish house, we have an extra like training field that we can use as training field that's attached to the garden, where we make the dogs run like with 2-person recalls once or twice a day to tire them out. They have a pool they can swim in, they have a pond they can splash in, they have a beagle for the beagles, they have their own little pool for the summer. They have a great life. So for my reactive dog, this is not an issue. And if you've got a reactive dog, I'll give you a few tips right now. Listen up. So you've got a reactive dog, you are not currently blessed with such an ideal setting for a reactive dog. No problem. Keep working towards that, because anything you can imagine in life, I firmly believe you can reach, you can achieve. There will be a way. You're committed to your dog, there will be a way. Believe me, because I've been through it, my client's been through it. I know people who've been through a lot with their reactive dogs, and they achieved the perfect circumstances with time because they were so committed to their dog. Things just fell into place for them. So that's one takeaway. The other one is, make the best out of what you got. If you live right now in a busy setup without a big yard to exercise your dog, if you have any space at all outside, set up a pulley system. Basically, not chain your dog up, otherwise they can injure themselves, because a reactive dog often is so riled up in a state of hyperarousal. It's a chemical imbalance in the brain. They can't think straight. They will injure themselves if your chaining mechanism is in any way to the point where they can get their legs hooked up in the chain and stuff, or damage their neck if they slam into the edge of the chain. That's not a good thing. So the pulley system is basically, imagine 2 poles of wood, like what you see behind me here. You know, basically it can be a tree or can be a wooden post that's anchored safely into the ground. You put a chain between one post and the other post as long as possible, and you have another chain that fixes to that moves. So the dog can move freely. It's just not possible for the chain to wrap around the dog's neck or legs in that way. And look it up online. You order yourself a setup or build yourself a setup. That's the next best thing to a fenced-in yard. If you don't even have that, say you find yourself, screwball happened, you find yourself in an apartment, like someone I know, someone local, life happens, everything went wrong, and she's suddenly with a juvenile livestock guardian dog, a young male of, how old is he now? 7 months, in an apartment. So what does she do? In such cases, I recommend you get a dog treadmill, a sturdy one, not for humans, but for dogs specifically, without a motor, but the dog can then determine the speed by moving. That's definitely a must-have for a reactive dog, for a big dog that you can't exercise outside without them getting all riled up if you walk them in a busy neighborhood that's maybe even infestated by pit bulls that get loose, because many such neighborhoods in the US and Canada exist. Unfortunately, people do not feel safe even in their own yards, let alone in their neighborhoods on walks, because these dogs jump fences. They maul people, they maul pets, they maul everything. Sounds dramatic, but again, look up the numbers. 66 dead Americans last year from pit bulls. This year we're approaching 30 already. How do I know that? Because in the groups we keep track. But anyway, use a treadmill, use any games you can play with your dog in your apartment, hide and seek, hiding treats, hiding toys, any exercise in terms of mental stimulation, puzzle toys, long-lasting chews, training, trick training is amazing, obedience training, 2-3 short sessions a day. And if you have a vehicle or a friend with a vehicle, get out with that dog to some remote place where you can enjoy peaceful walk where neither you nor your reactive dog gets triggered, and suddenly you will feel so much better, and you will find that there is no more problem. Your reactive dog is no longer a problem. And why? Because you remove the trigger, the unnecessary triggers, the triggers that the dog trainers out there on social media tell you that you have to overcome. You have to yank the dog out of it, snap them out of it, buy a complex behavior modification program to get them over it, or a holistic one, or a new age one, or whatever. I don't know. There's so many things out there. But don't forget that dog trainers sell solutions, but for solutions they need to make you aware of a problem. That's the first trick you learn in sales training and marketing training. Create a problem, like make people aware that, oh, what you got is a problem. You got a problem, man. You got a problem. And the person reading that in the ad or the website or the video thinking, what? No, but actually my dog is fine mostly. It's just when like kids come running over and want to pet it that it is rearing up and lunging. But the dog trainer say, that's a problem, that's it, you got a problem, or that dog's going to bite someone and you're going to be on the receiving end of a lawsuit and lose your dog and lose your house and lose your everything. No, you just got to be situationally aware and step in between your dog and anyone coming too close to it. If you're absolutely insecure, put a muzzle on your dog if you have to walk them through such areas where kids come suddenly darting out and you don't feel comfortable body blocking someone else's kids. Yeah. But if you take away that risk by just walking completely somewhere else, or maybe not walking, make your backyard work for you and your dog, secure it with your fence, work your dog out on the treadmill with a structured game of fetch. Look up Zach George's YouTube channel. He has guidance on how to teach fetch. I love that YouTube channel. I love Zach George. It's just one of the greatest channels I find for positive reinforcement training. And let's face it, also behavior modification in a modern, humane way. I mean, he literally never uses punitive methods. Maybe a verbal correction, but even that these days very rarely. Like the newer the videos are that you see on his channel, the less he even uses the word no as a negative marker. So I admire him for that. I love him for that. I still use no or leave it. Verbal corrections, definitely. Yeah. So there's that. Bottom line being, don't believe in the propaganda that your reactive dog is a problem and that they need to be corrected, they need to be punished, they need to be snapped out of it, they need to undergo rigorous training. Don't put your dog in a dog and board and train program either to snap them out of it for a reactive, in other words, sensitive, nervous dog. That's a traumatic experience right there. They're suddenly away from you, the only safety zone they've ever known maybe, in the hands of a complete stranger. And you don't know what that person is doing with your dog when you're not there, do you? There is trainers you can trust and you should trust, but do you know such trainers? Do you know them personally? Do you have a live feed that they provide you with? And you can see what's happening to your dog all the time, because if they don't offer that, you can't know what they do behind the scenes with your dog. And then you could suffer from the long-term side effects that your dog might one day bite one person or two persons, and they might get seized and put down because your trainer messed up your dog and asked for a lot of money for it. So don't trust that. Be your dog's advocate, be your dog's protector, be your dog's best friend. Don't put them in situations that set them up to fail. With that said, maybe it sounds hypocritical, but I also offer dog training and behavior consultations online. Not to sell you quick fixes or promise you within 2 weeks of training and this e-collar course, it's gonna be fixed. No, it's gonna be a longer process than that. Like, my clients have follow-up calls. There is a accompaniment going on. There's a coaching going on. It's not just I give you a quick fix with a course and then you slam your dog on the e-collar a few times and you're good. Or with a prong collar a few times and you're good. No. So, if you want to consult with me, it's pretty simple. My fee is €100. I've stepped away from limiting the sessions because, especially people who have reactive dogs, I just feel they need to have the room to speak, to put it all on the table, to pour it all out, because there's so much pressure that's built up in these people's. I've been there with my livestock guardian dog when she went through puberty and young adulthood, and we did not live in conducive situations back then at all. It's extremely stressful, so I've been through it. I can help you through it. So the time on the call is no longer limited. You can, if you want to make the investment, it's €100. Whatever your currency is, I will send you a link from my Wise app, a payment link. You can make the transfer. It is very much instant, in a few minutes. Once we have the confirmation, I will set up a time, send you a Google Meet link, then we can talk unlimited. If you need 3 hours, we can talk 3 hours. It's not an issue. I'm happy to. My calendar is cleared for half a day for each call, because I want to give each person their time, and I just find that's the most effective, because I want people to be happy after. I want people to see hope. I want people to see the light at the end of the tunnel, feel the relief, all of that. So, yeah, you can. Easiest way to contact me is via Facebook. I link my Facebook and my email in the description of the video, as well as in the comments. So hit me up and we can talk. All right, with that said, consider what you heard in the video, and thank you for watching till the end.